What do I want to start with? Here, we'll start with this.
What up, what up? I'm Adrian Young.
I'm Ali Shaheed Muhammad.
And we are
The Midnight Hour.
And you are listening to
Mega Late Show.
Skirt.
He's youngin' up in here.
You know what I mean? We got to get that demographic. I always say that we got to get that demographic. We do have to get that demographic. So you hit them with the pop cultural phrases like lit and bop and skirt. I don't know what the newest one is, but there's vibes.
I mean, I'm the last person to know those.
It's not a bad thing that you don't know those. But word, welcome back, Mega Late Show. I'm Robinson Mega, the host and producer of the Mega Late Show. We are a Tokyo-based hip-hop art and culture podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to Secret House Against the World, which is where I put a lot of the Mega Late. I put all of the Mega Late Show videos on that. So hit like, subscribe, and please. All of the things that other YouTubers tell you to do that to my channel so I can grow in my subscribership and all of these things. Today, man, I'm back with Rhyming. I didn't even check to see what the last episode number that you were on was, but it's been at least 2 years, guaranteed, right?
Yeah. I mean, congrats for keep going.
Thanks, brother. I mean, it's weird coming from, not weird coming from you because you're a person that has been going. You know what I mean? So, word. Wait, before we get into the depths of things and deeper into it, let me go ahead and let you guys know that all the beats on this episode that you hear in the background, the musical bed, are brought to you by Tokyo-based beat maker SUGI. You've heard of SUGI. He's super fucking dope. He runs the Slow Lights event in Nakano at Heavy 60, which is one of the longest running live beat shows that's going on. He's heavily into it with a lot of the beat makers out here, all the guys that throw 404 up and then play beats. He's got a new album that just dropped on the Los Angeles label Cold Busted, which is called Warp Haze. This is where this song is from, and also a new collaborative album with Tajima Hal called MAHAL, which is a portmanteau of their names, as you can see or hear. And check out both of those. It'll be all beats by him or them this episode. And this episode is also featuring my good man, Rhyming Gaijin, who we've had on the podcast before. Peace, Rhyming.
What's good?
I don't know where I'm having applause anymore. Oh, that's a boo. I mean, to be honest, I don't really use this except for the drop, for the drop and the single drop of Ali Shaheed Muhammad and Adrian Young. And I don't know why that's the only one I use. It kind of like a clout chase type of thing. But we've got a lot of people who are super dope as well, like Sky Zoo and shit that also gave us drops. But yeah, welcome back, Rhyming Gaijin. Is it Rhyming Gaijin?
It's rhyming.
Rhyming, I like that. Yeah.
I think I dropped the Gaijin.
When you became fully fluent in the language?
Nah.
We still Gaijin out here, though.
I don't know. When I came out here, I was one of the first to put Gaijin in the name.
Yeah.
And it was never received well.
I feel like there's been a turn in that more recently. The Gaijin Pot is one of the more popular resources for Gaijins to find jobs and shit. But yeah, it used to, people still ask like, oh, is it like a negative thing to use Gaijin?
I mean, it could be, and depending on the context. Like when kids say it, it's cute.
Yeah.
When random salary man says it to you,
it hit different, right? It's like the hard R. You know what I mean? It's like the hard ER on it. Yeah, I feel you. For people that don't know who are listening to this outside of Japan, Gaijin is basically like a foreigner, an outsider, and it's a colloquial version of it, right? That's more just like a casual way of saying it. But typically, jin is like what would the grammatical term for that?
Isn't that like human?
Right.
Person?
Yeah. So, you got Saiyajin, like Super Saiyajin and shit. The one that you don't want to get hit with is like Kokujin. Have you been hit with that? I got hit with that at this apartment the first day that I came up in here. The owner or the landlord of this apartment building what wouldn't allow foreigners into this apartment building, Chinese, whoever it be. And so I walked up into this birch, and they were like, "We'll see. The landlord wants to meet you." And when he opened the door to the apartment, he kind of jumped back a little bit and was like, "Kokujin," and I was like, "I just really want the apartment, dog. I just really want the apartment." But he's like, he's like 5 foot because he's shrunken due to his age. He's an old man who comes from a different time. And I didn't take it like he said that, but every other thing he did to me was completely polite, and he let me get the apartment. And still to this day, I'm pretty sure I'm the only foreign person living in this joint. So that's the one you don't want to get hit with, though.
I mean, but I've been out here 14, 13 years. There's other ways to disrespect you outside of. A lot of people, they think they can tell when people are talking about you, but they don't have to use those words.
Yeah.
I mean, long story short, it is what it is. But a coworker of mine, she said that I'm wagga mama.
I'm not familiar with that one.
It means selfish,
Oh, okay.
which I am selfish. I don't deny that. But she said it like, so you're me. She's talking to a teacher right there. She looks past me and says, "Yeah, Matthew's wagga mama." As if it was just.
Yeah, that's pretty. Did you say, "Wait a minute, bitch"?
I mean, I let it go.
Yeah.
Because.
I'm sorry for saying bitch. I usually don't do that, but sometimes I say bitch. I apologize.
I mean, I let it go because it's not that serious. And it's true. Like, if she said something that's not true, like if she said, "Matthew's always late," that's not true.
Okay, yeah, I bet.
But she said that, and long story short, it's over.
Okay. You left the job? Or you
She
just
left
let it
the
go?
job.
Oh, okay.
I mean, she quit the job. Like, she's
Oh,
a
okay.
Japanese teacher who quit in the middle of the year.
Oh, okay.
So there's something different about her.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, being here that long, you must encounter a lot of things. I know I have, man. Speaking of which, I wanted to, like we were saying earlier, you were congratulating me on doing this for the little 4 years that we did. Before it was me and Late, but now Late's back in Atlanta, so I've been running the ship from over here. He still does the phone call conversations content, but when it comes to Mega Late Show, I'm still trying to do it. Like you were, and I've heard this from many people other than yourself, like you were kind of one of the first black content creators in Japan that wasn't just like, "I'm black in Japan." You were just like, "Yo, I'm doing it, I just happen to be in Japan." And your YouTube channel has a substantial number of subscribers, and I feel like you don't ever really promote. I feel like you usually just use it as like an outlet for your creativity. Like you're never like, "Yo, like my channel." You're always just like, I'm doing this 365-day freestyle challenge to myself. It just so happens that I post it for you to also come along with a journey with me.
Yeah.
And I want to give you props for that. I give you applause again, but I don't want it to be the boo. You know what I mean? I give you an applause, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Like, I guess to tell people who you are that don't know, it's like you've been out here for a long time. You've been rapping and rhyming for over 20 years. You're also a prolific beat maker, producer. You're a photographer. You are some type of like a super creative person. Do you feel like that adequately describes you without like hyping it too much? Like you do a lot of creative shit, right?
That sums it up.
Am I missing something though? I know you make beats all the time. I know you rapping all the time, and I found out about your photography, I feel like after I met you, but it turns out like you do a lot of photography work too. I ran into you on the street just a couple weeks ago randomly, and you had like a whole luggage and a whole rucksack full of like, I was like, "Where are you going?" Like the airport's the other way, and you're like, "Oh, I'm doing a shoot."
Actually, it was, I think,
Right over here?
right over there.
Okay. Man, and your photography is phenomenal.
Thank you.
And I'd be like, "Yo, Ramen get to take pictures of a lot of naked women and shit.
It,
Yeah. It's part of the process. It's a creative journey.
I mean, I needed to do that. I needed to step away from music. So there was this right after MBA school I did. Music. After MBA, after I got my MBA, it affected my music. Because now there was I don't really wear the business hat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of an artist, but then business school, I try to put things through it fucked up my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's,
They're the opposites, right? Like when you're a creative, like you create not to like sell it, but you create to like
I mean,
create.
it's a misnomer. Like, I always use the example Madonna and Michael Jackson. And Prince, throw him in there. They are business people.
Okay, sure, yeah.
But they also, you wouldn't think of them as business.
Right.
Like,
because their businesses, well, I don't know if I'd throw Prince in there in the same way that I would throw Michael and Mike. I feel like Prince is like an artist, and I feel like Michael and Madonna are pop stars whose art is not informed from like of course it comes from them, but it's like Prince was writing his own music. Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam were writing Michael Jackson's. Fucking Chris Mosdale was writing lyrics for Michael Jackson. Prince was, so it's a slightly different. Am I just taking this off a weird tangent? But
I mean,
go on about the art, maybe, because I'll take us off tangents all day.
I mean, I'm just, in general, like, they were business minded. They were focused. All three of them. So when it came time to do this shit, they were doing it like a business. They managed the people around them. They knew what they wanted, and there was no lofty, we hope it works out kind of. Like, Prince would play it himself. Like, if you don't, like, so business is like that. Like, you need to make sure you got all your widgets there. But in business school, they didn't correlate those two. They said, you're a musician. Why are you here?
Sure.
And I'm like, music business?
Yeah.
They're put together? But
I mean, everything is slang yourself. Like, people are fucking, selling every single aspect about themselves. That's like the neoliberal subject is that's a part of it.
But like, I mean, I'm coming to terms with it now. But I didn't like that. I mean, anyone who knew me or knows me, during that period, I was basically quoting what the teacher said. So one of my teachers, he'd be like, you're going to sell this bottle of water? You think it's great? So what? So any idea we came up with, he's like, so what? What is the value? What is the significance of it? So I started saying that to other artists. Oh, you want to make a track? So what? I didn't gain any friends with that.
I mean, that's not that's not how you really. Yo, I'm trying to do a rap. You're like, so what?
Well, because there's a bigger picture. Like,
you wanted to turn it into something that was lucrative, or you thought it should exist as.
So I'm an artist, and that always drove my my moves. If you asked me what my 4-year plan was, I didn't have one. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna climb up the mountain and rap on top because I want to climb up the mountain and rap on top.
You're talking about the literal Mount Fuji that you climbed to the top of the mountain and rapped on top.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing he did.
But if there's no, I mean, it's a debate, and I'm coming to terms with all this. But at the end of the day, you just have to find peace.
Sure.
And I couldn't find peace at that point. The marketing, I mean, a lot, like,
I hear on your new album, like, she's like, you're one of the first person that was like branding yourself and wearing. Your homegirl was like, you're one of the first people. This is 20 years ago. She's talking about you would wear like your manifesto gear, your whatever, you know what I mean? And even to this day, I think that's the Rhyming shirt, right? That you're rocking.
It's the first out of the print. The first and only. I actually threw
Okay.
some away now.
Okay, I mean, you could always toss them over here, even if they use. I'll throw them up on the wall. Are you so? You've been doing it for so long, and I was saying that it seems kind of like you are doing all these creative endeavors, but it doesn't seem like you have any aspirations to like make it, so to speak. You know what I mean? To like blow up, to have like a wildly successful album, or to be like some wild, YouTube star. I feel like you could probably do more if you wanted to. And that's me projecting into it. Are you saying that there's like a difference, like you're trying to monetize yourself a little bit more now? Am I just off on that?
I mean,
I mean, I don't know you all that well, you know what I mean?
I think there's a correlation. I mean, can't really say it, but I think there's a correlation between when certain artists become really successful and then they kind of lose their bearings, go crazy, or they kind of spiral. And I'm afraid of spiraling. I don't like, it's weird for me to be around people who know me. It's weirder to be around people who don't know me. Like they heard of me, they've seen me, and they have these expectations.
Right.
And it's like I didn't think people would watch me on my YouTube. The purpose was first to make videos for my family, but my family didn't have computers back in the day, so they never seen it. It's for iPhones and all that. Then the second wave was just to get people who look like me, or in my situation, to show them that there's nothing particularly special about me. If you want to come to Japan, come to Japan. And that's kind of how everything is. It's just don't let all those, the only thing stopping you is you.
Right.
And I try to model or show just I'm a regular dude doing regular things, and I show the pluses and the minuses.
Right.
And a lot of my channel is just me talking about the books I read and how I'm interpreting it, and it resonated with people.
Apparently, man. I mean, I've got, the homie friend of the show, Cake, Chocolate Cake. I think you know Cake, right? He raps with Laid Back CX. He's got a little fro. Used to be a b-boy. You know Cake, yeah?
I met him for the first time at a Ruby Room.
Okay. Well, see, like, he was telling me, he was like, yeah, before I came to Japan, I used to watch videos of rhyming. In rhyming, like, he was like, he would like just be personal and share his life and share his relationship. And he had this breakup that was, very much on his channel, and it was sincere and authentic, and it was just something dope that he thought. So I mean, I think I look at I actually subscribed to your channel for the first time today. I didn't really ever think to do it because I'm not really one that watches vlogging style content, so to speak, like but I was like, oh, let me check it out. And I started to watch like videos, and I was like, wow, like, man, you got a lot of fucking subscribers. There's people who are invested into like following who you are and all that. So I mean, all this to say is like a very long intro to just be like, man, you're one of the forebearers. Like, you're one of the more OG cats when it comes to this type of content. And not only that, like, you're a hip hop guy, so I fuck with you heavy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wanted to get you in here to talk about kind of this same, this aging here in Japan, and this aging as a man, and everything that comes with, that facet of your being black in Japan, coming from where you come from, rapping and the things that inform it, and especially this new album that you just dropped on your 40th birthday, which is called 40. And all of the songs on it are kind of plays off of things that are 40. There's nothing about 40 ounces on there, but that's because you don't drink.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Because I made a list of all the 40 things. So 40 ounce, 40 Glock. 40 Glock was going to be the song with Buddha and I.
Okay.
Like taking
Shout out
shots.
to MC Buddha, yeah.
But I don't really do that kind of. I don't reference gun bars per se. Then 40 ounces, I don't drink, but it could have been like going off a liquid. We got 40
Sure.
ounces of flow, but
I mean, you're an MC. You could turn it into anything you want.
basically, but
40-year-old virgin, WD-40. You got a lot of 40. It's all 40s.
yeah.
And for this project, you decided to make it to release on your 40th birthday, and you decided to make it in 40 days before your 40th birthday. The 40 days before.
Yes.
And you made all of the beats on an iPad as well.
Yes.
That's what kind of inspired you? Like, when did the idea come to you that it was like, I'm going to do it this way?
I mean, I don't like birthdays in general. I'm not a celebrate your birthday kind of guy. I usually disappear. A couple girlfriends set up like surprise parties and all that, and it was just really awkward because I had one random Tinder person I met. Like, I'm gonna do this. We're gonna go. I think she's gonna take me to Okinawa or some shit.
Oh, you got to take that trip, dog. Like, that's a free trip to Okinawa. You got to take that.
I mean, I'll take myself there, but it was just, I don't want anyone to, because I just didn't like it.
Okay. I mean, I don't celebrate my birthday like that either. Like, I gave my birthday to my daughter. And I was like, yo, on my birthday, it's your birthday now. We'll get you presents. We'll celebrate you. And my birthday is like in a couple days or some shit. And it don't mean much to me. But growing old is, I'm not one of those people who's like, damn, I'm fucking 38 years old. I feel old. Like, my neck feels old sometimes and injuries feel old, but I feel really happy to kind of still be around. And I feel like the only time I really feel old is when I'm around like a 21-year-old and I'm like, oh, 21, you're a baby. And that's the only time I feel old. But, you know, I guess I'm the same as you in that regard. Like, birthdays are important, but like, it depends on what emphasis you put on the importance of it. They're fun milestones to count.
Like, going off what you said, I'm happy to be 40. Like, I love the gray hairs. I love just seeing the patterns of my life. Seeing, in a way, music brought me to this point. Like, just, I was making I was rapping on beat tapes. And it's like, how can I do some artwork? So I got Adobe. Like, I don't know how to use Adobe. I should go to college. I go to college. In college, met some more music-based stuff. Then I randomly come to Japan because I want to rap here.
You were just like, yo, I want to rap in Japan.
I didn't come for anime. I didn't come for the food. I just wanted to rap.
You're a wild guy, man. Every time I talk to you, I feel like you're such a, I don't want to say strange, but
unique.
Unique is a term for it, but I feel kind of like it also underplays that, like, everybody's unique. You know what I mean? Like, in their ways, everybody has uniqueness for to some degrees. But you're an artist. Like, to me, when I see you and I see the stuff that you do, there's a motivation there that is just like, some people don't have it in them. Like, I would like to fancy myself as a creative. You know, through hip hop culture, I've done everything, all the elements. You know, like, even my handwriting now is still a little bit of a hand style. Like, I used to help host open mics. I've played my part in beat, like, we had the Tibetan Death Quartet, which was a live improv hyper modern jazz ensemble of guys who didn't know music theory but were using hip hop equipment to put amalgam sounds together. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, I like doing that, but for me, I've always needed a creative person to push me. I needed a person that was like, I left the house today without a poem and I came home with a poem. Where's your poem? And I'm like, oh, that's right. Here's a poem. And then, you know, so I've always kind of needed that creative kind of partnership. But for you, I see it just like, it seems as much as shit that you do, it seems like you just don't have a choice. Like, you're impelled to create, and that's a really admirable thing for me. I can't do it. Like you just be at home making beats. I'm wondering, like, what the fuck else do you do? Do you watch television?
No.
Do you like? I know you don't. You listen to audiobooks, but I imagine you're doing that at times where you can't just rap or take a photo or make a beat. You're probably like, all right, I got to sit in this office for an hour. Let me go ahead and just put on this Rakim Sweat the Technique book to listen to. Every time I see you, it's something creative. And that's what I mean by the uniqueness. It's a really powerful thing to me, and I envy it. I envy it. Like, there's not a lot of things that I really envy about other people. Like your rap style, I don't envy. Like, I think you're good at rapping, but it's not something like, damn, I wish I could rap like Ryman. The thing that really makes me feel like a little bit envious of you is just your ability to continue fucking. Oh, did you freestyle? Did you make a video today of freestyling? Maybe not, but yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, you just doing it. I love that about you, and it's so fascinating to me.
I mean, it's interesting to hear your take, hear anyone's take on this.
You don't get that all the time?
I mean, I would never talk about me. I wouldn't be in a conversation about me, because it's weird like that. But I don't have a choice in that I wouldn't be. I feel weird, like you have these XMen.
Marvel card series 2, 1991, Avengers vs. Kang. Do the knowledge, you know what I mean?
So recently I've been watching the 90s cartoons of the X-Men.
Okay.
Which it's like a break from music and photography and books.
It really is like some escapism for you. Like, you get to just like escape your brain and just fall into fucking Gambit saying Mon Ami every sentence.
And I'm not even thinking about sampling the music, or a part of me feels I'm wasting time, because I mean, I work 2 jobs, so it's like I get off one job, get to the next job, come home at 9, and it's either I fall asleep doing my music or whatever, so it's just, whatever, let me just relax, and that's how I'm relaxing.
So you didn't watch like WandaVision or Falcon and the Winter Soldier or Invincible or fucking Mr. Nobody. Like, you didn't watch like.
I can't watch those. I mean, if it's bingeable.
Okay. All of which. Okay, those are not the ones I named.
And if it's serious, like I got rid of my Netflix.
Okay. Good. Pirate all that shit.
If I have it, I gotta watch it. And if there's like 8 million episodes, I want to finish it so I can get on to whatever next thing I gotta do. So I avoid things just because it's just gonna draw me in. Now, it could be beneficial because my references, my punchlines are not up to date per se, because
you gonna be referencing 90s X-Men cartoons soon and shit. Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it like what was it? Box, where you had to close your eyes. It was a Netflix one.
Oh, I don't know.
Bird Box.
Oh, yeah, Bird Box with Sandra Bullock or whatever.
So
right?
I just happened to be watching that when everyone else was watching it. So when I dropped some references, we all knew what I was talking about.
Gotcha.
But in this album, I reference Dirty Dancing.
Great movies that came out around the time, like, some of the people that I know were born.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That shit probably came out around the time of, like, A Valley and MJ the Sensei were born. Like, really, like, 85 or something, right?
And
No, they weren't even born yet.
With I teach, right? So I'd be like, yeah, Harry Potter. They don't know Harry Potter. Like, they should know, but they weren't born yet.
Yeah.
And they missed the whole, we're going to read the big-ass books because.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The only reason they would get to that is, like, if their parents push them to it. Right. I'm not even on the Harry Potter train. I've never seen all the movies. I've seen 2 of them.
actually, Harry Potter indirectly, when he had the invisible cloak, I was like, how do you do that? So there was no internet. I had to buy a book. All right. So I bought this book on how to green screen. And I got this cloth and I'm just running around green screening shit directly because of this Harry Potter. So then I would be like at a college, tennis courts are green. So I'm laying on a tennis court. But yeah, I seen them all for the special effects. Like I'm big on those type of things. But yeah.
Yeah. Back to the album, man. Let me pull up some of those tracks. Like I said, I didn't pick it up yet. I wanted to buy it, but I also wanted to buy it on Bandcamp Friday, so all of the proceeds go to you. Let me just hop on this and see if I can get
Shout out to Bandcamp.
Yeah, I use Spotify now, but people who've been listening to the program know that I was kind of fiercely against all the streaming services just because of what they stand for within the music industry and how they kind of supplanted labels as a way for the best exploitation of artists and shit. You know what I mean? And when I would tell people, like, instead of paying $9 a month for Spotify, I'd rather spend $9 on an independent artist's music, and that way at least a portion of that goes to them. As much as I like Earl Sweatshirt, if I stream his album 24 hours a day for 5 days, he's going to get 25 cents if he's lucky. That not even that. You know what I mean? So I'm a big fan of Bandcamp for that reason alone, because especially with the what do they call it? Artist Fridays? Something like that, right? But I feel like I just said the name a minute ago, but yeah, I could toss you all that money. They're doing that, and it's like Google Music and iTunes or whoever else is not even close to that type of ratio of payment towards an artist. So,
I mean, if you give it context, there was a time when we used to Napster everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't use Napster, but I've been on SoulSeek since 2004 maybe. So, I'm a big pirate, but I like to support the artists that I like. You know what I mean?
Like, it's a weird.
How do I get to the damn? Okay, here's the album. All right, let me. I wanted to play some music off this. I don't know what my favorite track is, man. Your production on this really speaks to me too a lot. Maybe 40 Degrees is my favorite track right now. Do you remember what that track is? Probably not, with your old rapping ass. This joint right here.
Okay.
This is a summer jam. To me, I feel like, okay, this is. Justice was playing this loud as shit in Shibuya last Friday before the state of emergency. It was crazy out there. Probably dangerously crazy in terms of coronavirus, but we were,
Yeah.
Let me play this for a second.
I'm not perfect. God knows behind closed doors. God knows.
You don't like listening to your own music?
Trapped in my own mental prison.
You don't, do you?
Looks like a prison. It's not black and white. That's how we condition to thinking that we victims to the whims of the system.
I like your singing on this track a lot, dog. I didn't know that you was doing that. I'm a fan of it. It might be the reason I like this track a lot. And also the beat change at the end. You be killing it, Rhyming. Let's get a little fist bump here, my brother.
Thank you.
You don't like listening to your own music? Or you listen to it too much?
I mean, the music's for me. So it's almost like I'm telling myself, it's me telling me to keep doing what I do.
Oh, so all of these wise bars are really more just like affirmations for you to remind you to focus on certain things. Because you do also, I notice in the lyrics, there's not like a preachy kind of, here's a philosophical gem for you. But it is kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, that's a really kind of witty way to remind yourself. I wake up in the morning, I do this thing called the miracle morning. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's 6 things that I do the first thing in the morning when I wake up. So the first one, it's an acronym called SAVERS, right? So S is silence. It could be meditation. It could be prayer. It could be whatever. Me, I meditate, right? Not anything substantial, about 5 minutes of just meditation. And then it's affirmation, visualization, exercise, reading, scribing. And so I do all these things in the morning. And so a lot of times I'll listen to a song and I'll hear something that becomes my mantra for the day.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the chorus on this,
This song ain't limited to strictly lyrics. It's the reason that the fit survive. They never quit. The reason that the fit survive.
now I'm not a huge fan of like the kind of how can I say it? Kind of the philosophical underpinnings that come with the idea of Darwinistic survival of the fittest as applied to human beings. But your chorus here speaks to me. There we go. Hold on, dog. This is my shit. Come on, rhyming.
The reason that the fit survive. Reason that the fit survive is because they understand they are alive. You ain't gonna do much if you die.
That shit is hard rhyming. In that beat flip. Here we go. You be killing it, dog. I fuck with rhyming, and you guys go check out this album, Rhyming with 2gs.bandcamp.com. The album is called 40. It's fucking great. All produced on a fucking iPad.
Yes.
Jeez, dog. I didn't know. You know, Madlib produced the entirety of that last Freddie Gibbs album on Pinata. He produced that all on an iPad too. And I got 2 iPad Pros, and I've got a fucking SP606, a 404, an MK fucking 3 Machina. And you know how many songs I produced?
0.
Yeah, I ain't produced shit.
That's the.
You know what I was? You used to do the beat making workshops, right? I wanted you to give me a beat making workshop on this thing because I fuck around for about an hour and I'd be like, wait a second, how the fuck do I sequence the drums on this thing? It's so counterintuitive to me compared to like an MPC.
It's not.
It's not?
It's not an MPC. Like
Right, it's not.
cause I started with an MPC, the 500. Then I saw this came out, and it was just. I lost all
You got
my
one of
shit.
these too?
I got everything. Well,
Yeah, go ahead, go off, dog. What else you got? You got. I know you have the. Do you have the Ableton Push? Did I see? No, I seen you with the new MPC Live.
I got the live. I got the push one. I got the MPK little MPC keyboard,
Okay,
which,
I know what you're talking about.
but it's like $100.
Yeah,
Like it's like you don't like today, this day and age, you don't need to drop 60,000
yeah,
or 40,000. You could do it from your iPad.
right.
The difference is this is cool.
Yeah.
Sliding your finger on the glass, different aesthetic.
I do like that kind of tactical. This shit making me burp like crazy, excuse me. But I like that tactile feeling of it. Like, also I had this, when I mentioned earlier when we were making music, me and my brother Satoru, almost 20 years ago now, they didn't have computers and shit, right? So we didn't have, I mean, they did, but in order to have like Pro Tools, you needed to buy an M-Box for $500 as an interface. And then, so we had all this hardware. And I remember Madlib actually, in a way, he kind of fucked me up because he was like, I don't use anything this digital. All my shit is analog. I sequence what you get here is me sequencing it on a fucking digital 8-track or a 404, a 4-track. And we were like, we gonna do that too, just like Madlib. And so all of my music, we sequenced it on a BR-864 digital 8-track and lost all those motherfucking zip discs. Like, all of my music is just gone, missing. It's in heaven's unchangeable heart. It's just not around. But, so I'm not used to looking at my computer and seeing how drums look laid out.
Yeah,
It's weird to me. It seems like it's counterintuitive to the way I visualize music. I don't visualize music with seeing a pattern. I like it to be kind of like a herd.
I mean, it's just, but it's everything. It's, if you go into jazz, Herbie Hancock was talking about when he didn't want to play the electric keyboard
Yeah.
because he had his reasons, but similar to that one. And then Miles Davis like, play that shit.
Right. And he was like, I'm out. Yeah, he fucking quit, right?
Well, I guess he said he decided he's going to do it because Miles Davis knows what he's talking about. But it took him a while to kind of like embrace it. But that divide has always been there.
Yeah.
So now you got this kind of like, even I before I started doing Beat the Best, I thought you needed a hardware. Like people on their desktops and Fruity Loops.
Trash. Look at y'all. Y'all ain't real beat makers. I saw Madlib. Right. I know the mentality. I know what you're talking about.
But then you hear it, and at the end of the day, but it gets crazy because it's different. The way you approach it's differently. Like I read a lot of books these days, but it was a book on.
Shout out to us book reading motherfuckers, yo. I'll keep telling y'all, do that.
I mean,
I'm gonna plug a book right after this, actually.
But they were talking about it was sampling. There's a whole book about sampling, kind of like
the Joseph Slosh book, Making Beats.
Yeah.
It's the what would you call it? Ethnographic study of beat making, right? I read that, yeah.
So it was just weird because I got that. I was reading the book Dilla.
Okay, I haven't read that one.
So there was a little blurb that kind of gave the 6 commandments of sampling, and it was just funny because it has moved on.
Yeah.
But there was a time when you couldn't sample from tape; it had to be record.
Right.
But Diller didn't follow those rules.
Right.
He sampled what the hell he wanted, and it just kind of marked. I sampled tape from TV. There was a whole era where I was just getting. This is back when you had no Napster. This is when you had to buy the. They made these CDs of show tunes, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I just kept buying all those and flipping them, just for the hell of it. And I'd be at these beat battles or whatever, and I'm playing this commercial ass sample. It's not hard sounding. It's just. Like I got those on video.
Yeah.
You can see the faces. I did Gilligan's Island. That's one of them.
That's hard. It was a weird thing that was like a faux pas back then. I remember like DiBiase was getting flack for like some of the things he's doing, like a Simpsons theme flip, and it's like, no, that's actually very hard. And you know that book by Making Beats by Joseph Slosh, I think is his name. Like it sounds so antiquated, the views of a lot of the people making that shit now. Even then, they're like, the roots, is it really like hip hop if they're just, you know what I mean? Like, is it, you know, like you weren't allowed to sample from those ultimate break beats fucking records, and you know, those rules are things that informed a part of my kind of philosophy as a hip hop head. And those rules like that were all over every element, like b-boying, like you can't do that, he did that, like that's against, you know what I mean? It's weird. I would love to see an updated version of that book now with the same ethnographic approach.
I don't think you could. Like it's just so, because there's always been that hierarchy. Like there's the top, but now you throw in the money. There's some people on BeatStars doing whatever the hell. They got the marketing down, and they're living millions of dollars from breaking the rules.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell them otherwise.
Yeah.
Because,
well, I feel like there still is like philosophical. There's still rules that some of the best like adhere to. If you listen, like one of the more popular beat making genres now is this lo-fi beats to fucking hug your homies to type of shit, right? Lo-fi for everything, which a lot of it to me sounds like elevator music. It sounds very kind of just, it's almost like the new like minimal, right? A lot of it's like Ghibli sample, fucking soft drums, lo-fi filter. And it's a lot of it just sounds like blah, blah. You know, you hear 20 songs and you couldn't say what the different, if there was a different producer in that, right? And so there still are kind of rules there. If you talk to some of the guys in that scene, like Marcus D is like, wait, you can't just do that. Like, and I feel like you could probably pin down a couple rules, but they're much easier to break than they ever were.
I would say there's rules, but it's open now. Like there's, like when there was only the MPC, the workflow was you needed an MPC to have an MPC sound. You needed you needed to, because my mentor, he had an MPC. I went out of my way to get a Roland Groove box, because
Big mistake.
but it just changed the things I can. At that point, the Roland had not infinite. It had a memory card.
Okay.
So I didn't need to do all that extra shit to
You
get
didn't
the
need
samples.
a iOmega zip drive or to fucking
for
plug
what?
in it. Yeah.
I also had I wanted a CD burner, so I bought a Mac when they came out. So at that point, you needed 2 computers to do music, one for this and one for that. And I remember telling them, I got a Mac. I don't need 2 computers. I got my Audio Media 3 Pro Tools card to stick in the back of it. And I just had the freedom to do whatever I wanted. Similar to if you have an iMac Pro,
Right.
you're not limited to
Anything.
do whatever you want.
Right.
Like I got 1 TB. Shit's filled with samples. Every sample I've been collecting over the years. But it almost seems like the rules were there, but it doesn't matter. It matters to those.
Right.
Like the rules are, like I think Miles said this, Miles Davis. Learn the rules so you can break them.
Yeah.
But it's flipped now. You don't need the rules.
Yeah.
You just come in.
I feel that. Like I've also seen, shout out to Brooklyn Terry, who is just a luminary and one of like the most important people to ever dance house style. You know what I mean? You know Terry, like just amazing dude, and has been there since the earliest days of it all. He said, learn the foundation and then forget about it. And it's like that. And I feel like I feel like where you'd find the philosophical differences where like the accepted and unaccepted, the line would be more skewed towards those who never learned the foundation, because I feel like in order to participate in the culture, you have to come from the culture, know the culture before you can change the culture. You can't just jump in and be like, this is the culture now. So when it comes to beat making, it's like at a certain point, it's like, oh, that becomes something else. You know what I mean? And I still feel like hip hop is still, I feel like just with rapping too. I remember vividly in like around like 98, 99 when I started listening to weird rappers, and so many people were like, that's not rapping. That's not how you supposed to rap. Like he's not even rhyming. Like he's not even, you know, like you can't just do that. Like why is like he's singing? Like he's like he just rapping fast for it. Like, you know, there was all these rules, and there is this kind of still to this day a major divide between people's perception of hip hop culture. And I feel like the cats that are the revivalists and the lyrical miracle thinking type of guys, I feel like that idea of them being so against the mumble rap style comes from a place of them not ever really being a part of the culture to realize that you were allowed to do different shit. When I like, so I hear cats is like, yo, fucking, you know, they'll an example, right? We do album reviews on my channel. Me, do you know El Spade? Marcus El Spade, he's a content creator out here, and Jet Axel. Maybe you know Jet, right? So we were reviewing this Arm & Hammer album. Arm & Hammer's Billy Woods and Elucid, and it's produced by Alchemist. And their rhyme styles are very much from the tradition of rap that I was just speaking about, where it seems non sequitur, but it's very poetic, and the lines are all deliberate. Like none of them are like filler bars, like itty bitty titty committee type of bars, like, right? It's not that. But you have to listen to it with a different intent and understand it comes from a different place. Otherwise, you think it's just word salad. So Marcus is like, this shit don't make no sense to me, and I'm just like, hip hop's allowed to not make sense to you. Like you're allowed to rap like this, and there's something there that you just don't get. The lyrical miracle guys who are on that side who say like the mumble rap cats can't do shit, I feel like it's very coming from a similar place of rules that you can't break. And I feel like motherfuckers that broke the rules are the illest.
Well, that's the
you know what I
thing.
mean?
Like,
yeah.
Rakim broke the. There's a quote. Well, it's in the book somewhere, but like
You just finished reading this Rakim Sweat the Technique book. I haven't got to it yet, but yeah.
Like, he was saying that he was in the studio with Marley Marl, I think. And Marley, he was like, you got to speak up, more energy. And Rakim's like, that's not what well, he didn't say anything. He just went through the motions, but kept doing it the same way. And then Marley, like, getting upset about it because, I made records. You're a new guy.
Right.
These are the rules to the break. But he wouldn't budge.
Right.
And then it's his book, it's his story, so he kind of looped it around, and Marley's like, I get what you're doing now.
Word. Hey, speaking, if I could plug my bullshit, Marley Marl was sitting right there in this studio, and it was in my house for about 6 hours. Listen to that episode. It's about 3 hours of Marley Marl just dropping gems about hip-hop culture. But to your point, even Marley himself was breaking the rules. Marley himself is a person that broke the rules, and it's weird to have a person that broke the rules be like, follow the rules. You know what I mean?
Well, but I find that pattern in everything. Like, maybe it's a human thing, but Miles was way out there. He didn't like Thelonious Monk being way out there.
Yeah.
Like, he had an issue with that, and Thelonious Monk, like, and that's in jazz. But then if you go to art, if you go to any type of human-based something, Little Kim, who is it? Take rap, because we're doing rap, right? Okay. There's some rappers who are saying, Snoop Dogg, he was saying that WAP is too much.
Oh, I remember that, right.
And yes, he's older now, and he's seeing it through this lens, but when he came in,
bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Yeah. I mean, the dirtiest shit I ever heard in my life at the time was Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre's album, to be honest with you.
Or
clearly.
Let's go to another Eminem when Mac, what's his name? The dude who battled him?
Machine Gun Kelly?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was because he said something about his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing I thought of was Eminem said something about everyone's daughter.
Right.
But it is what it is. He's different space, different time. And I find myself being very careful when I look at younger artists and not like.
I got one for you. I was having a conversation with one of my homies who his favorite MC is Eminem. His favorite MCs are Busta Rhymes, and his favorite MCs are from that 90s kind of mid-90s era, post-Illmatic, complicated bars, hard bars, right? And so anybody that meets that criteria is like one of his favorites. And he's just like, yo, these cats ain't even rhyming. Like, you have to have a certain thing about your words that you put together that makes it either dope or not dope. And I'm like, and he evoked Prodigy's name. He was like Prodigy, Busta Rhymes, you know what I mean? He listed all of the Royce the 5'9", and he was dissing like 21 Savage. And I was like, if you don't hear the similarities between Prodigy and 21 Savage, you're not listening. Because Prodigy, listen to Prodigy. He barely rhymes, but he also rhymes. It's because he, instead of a word being like a suffix rhyme, shun, meditation, you know what I mean? He would just put a flavor on it with his voice and his timing. And I'm like, yo, 21 Savage is doing the same thing, except that you don't feel it because he's not talking about breaking your collarbone, your nose bone with, you know what I mean? Like all this other shit. And I'm just like, yo, you come across as when you're on that hill of this is authentic and this is not authentic, a lot of times that slippery slope has you looking like a really ridiculous hypocrite.
I mean, it is, again, human nature.
Yeah.
Like I don't know when I did, but I went on the charts and I downloaded the top songs that are playing at that point. And I just listened to it as, instead of an audiobook, just listen to all the songs and which ones resonate with me. So 21 song Running. That shit, he ain't saying anything important, but the way he says it, the way the track is, because I like the track, and then his confidence, and it's got me thinking I could. The rules changed. Like you could say whatever you want. Then there's a Meek Mill song on there where they sample Trump.
Okay.
Like Trump is sampleable. Like he has a voice that like it just worked with the track, and there's other songs that it didn't really. A lot of them they sounded the same to me. But
I mean, truth be told, a lot of it is very heavily filled with tropes of popular. Like a lot of it sounds very much the same. And if you think about the construction of 90s boom bap style rap, it's the same thing too. It's sample drums. You know what I mean? And there's variety. It just sounds like it's different because of your sampling from here and there and there and there. But it's formulaic in the same type of ways. Now, I personally just don't like a lot of the modern day tropes that come with a lot of the youth rap. But I also listen to my favorite new artists are young cats, and they're making some of the most interesting, challenging shit that doesn't sound like WAP or like fucking 21 Savage or Little Yachty. So hip hop is thriving right now, I'd say. I don't know. We're about to hit the hour mark in just a minute, which I try to keep the conversations down in that regard. Let me just see my notes here if there is anything else in particular that I wanted to touch upon besides just your album. Yeah, I guess we mostly got all of it. I did want to shout out the new Tokyo Poetry Journal. This is great. And it's the editor-in-chief is my homie, Jordan A.Y. Smith, who is an MC as well. He also goes by Apes. He just released a book of poetry that has an accompanying rap album with it, where he raps the poetry. And man, you'd love Jordan. He's one of my favorite people. But yeah, check that out at Topojo, TOPOJO.JP or .com. But that's the new Tokyo Poetry Journal, and there's just a lot of really good writers in there. I'll always support local and independent hip-hop music culture. If you are a fan of hip-hop culture, the best place to start with your support is within your local community and help those artists thrive. I feel greatly privileged to live here in Tokyo around such incredible artists. I'm always inundated by buying new shit from the homies. The new album from you, Rhyming, is some of your illest work, and it's incredible to me that you were able to put that together so quickly. I want everybody to go check it out. I'm gonna put the link in the bio, obviously. Where can we find you online, Rhyming?
Rhyming Gaijin. I'm mostly posting on Instagram. But recently, as of today, 3 days ago, I started doing this, like a new thing that came out. I don't know when it started, but tutorial videos. Like it's just.
That's a thing. Yeah.
And they're just like, I mean, I used to do that. I used to look at me make beats. The thing about me is the timing. I didn't know that these things would become bigger than what they are.
Oh, word.
Like I just, my reason for doing a lot of the stuff I do is to do it. But there's a dude I followed. He got the machine when I had the machine, and we were like the only two. So we followed each other. But he went business-wise. He made a website to teach people.
Okay.
I was just, look at me. I'm making beats on a machine. We lost contact.
Yo, this is a fucked up song to be playing for a person that just turned 40. Hold on. It's just called Old Man.
I'm an old man.
Yeah. Hold on. Oh, all the beats on this episode, I'm sorry to cut you off. Let me just say it right quick. SUGI, all of the beats are his. Yeah, this one is called Old Man. Let me stop that. There we go. I forget the tangent. I interrupted you. My bad.
But, we reconnected, and I'm watching him. He's watching me, whatever. So the machine came out with the portable one.
Okay.
And they sent it to him.
Oh, because he's been fucking
consistent.
Yeah.
They would have sent me one too if they would have, I would have carried it up the mountain too if I had it.
Yeah.
But it's just the consistency.
Yeah. That's what I've been having a hard time with too, man. Like, there's a lot of content that I want to put out that I just like. I don't jump the gun on it because I feel like a lot of it is just corny to me. Like, I feel embarrassed to put myself out for people sometimes. I'm trying to get over that. Like, I wrote an entire album review for an album that is still not reviewed online, of 2 artists that I feel are just dope and have a long lineage, Illogic and Odd Nose Dom, and I just didn't record it. I don't know, man. I'd like to talk to you more in private about some of your routines to keep it fresh and I don't know, help motivate me to do more creative endeavors, because you're a fucking magical person. We're supposed to end the show. We are. We're ending it. Yeah. Let me go out to a track that I got, and we can react to it as the final thing here. A track that I got from this cat named Ray Kincaid. Sent me a song called Sundays at Offbeat, and he's an MC. Oh, gosh, I should have made notes about it, but he's an MC, and this is off of his. Let me just pull it up so I can really look at it before we listen to it. His album is called Crackheads Need Love Too, and let me see. He don't got nothing to say who he is on here. He sent me information. I just was lazy because it's the first day of Golden Week, so I forgot to fucking put the notes. But let's listen to this right quick and let's see how we feel about it.
Come on, now. We came to party.
Sundays at Offbeat.
Yeah.
Ray Kincaid.
Let's go when you don't stop. Now when the beat drop, you don't stop. Now when
Summer
the
Jam.
beat drop, you don't stop. Now, yeah. I'm ripping, I'm killing, I'm never slipping. On my pimping, got me limping. I'm never sipping, never tricking on wicked women, wishing they can get me with the kissing. Instead, I get the mic and I grip it like my name was Scotty Pippen on a sick day. Got me feeling like I'm Luke Came in my flu game. Get hit with that blue flame, that hot Hadouken. Poetry in motion when I spit that potent potion. I kill the poison and heal the boys and girls. From the wag music that oozes within our radio fuse.
Shout out to the guys that send me music, man. Keep doing that. I'll play it when I can.
Stop. When the beat drop, you don't stop. Now.
I like this second cat too.
When the beat drop, you don't stop.
No,
Come
watch
on.
mine. Come may her. Look up in a player, touch a neighbor, said neighbor. Freaking nature, never been a skater. Watch me grind the track while I'm waving to the haters. Catch the wave and do
You
it.
feeling this at all, Rhyming?
Now let me get the flyers. No feeling.
You can diss it if you don't like it. I quite like that beat and the vibe. That's the thing too. If you send me music, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do like this though. I'm not really into pimping, but you know what I mean. Let my man get it off. So this is Ray Kincaid, Alexander Freshco, and one other cat named James. Hold on, James Vergodo. Yeah, it's dope. Check them out. Crackheads Need Love Too. Kincaid with a K, Kincaid. You gotta give a word on it, Rhyming. Dope or not dope? That's a segment we used to do. 24. It's a very conventional, like, boom bap style for 24-year-olds, yeah? It's kind of hard, right? Let's run that back for a second. Hold on.
If I try to be like you, I can never be me. If you try to be me, then I might like you. Every tall building get the standing ovations, they clap you. When the ribbon get cut, they cut you off if they collapse. Dear saints,
what is that sample? I feel like it's so on the tip of my tongue. I've heard it before, but I don't know what sample flip that is. It's hard though.
It's offering the greatest offer.
Yeah, you know the vibes. Mega Late Show, Tokyo Hip Hop Art and Culture. Find us on all the things that are important. Like my channel. Let's go back to some El SUGI, and we'll go out to Punk Smokers. Thank you, Rhyming, for joining me today, man.
All right. The other track was dope.
Okay. Are we keeping into that?
I mean, it's not a song that if I heard it once, that I would. I was thinking this when I came down here. Most Def, I can't afford it. And she came with the Miss Fat Booty.
Miss Fat Booty, yeah.
Like when I
Rock on
heard
both sides.
that song, I had to run it back
Yeah.
and run it back. It's one of my.
One of the greatest. That's not a love song, but that's a Valentine's Day jam.
Whatever, I had to rap on that instrumental. I had to like. It's not one of those songs.
Okay.
But it's a song that if it's playing, I want to hear what it's saying.
Sure.
I want to, because they're saying
See
something.
what's going on, yeah. I'm talking all over it and shit. I'll put the link in the bio though. You know what I mean? Word. Yeah. Fucking Rhyming Gaijin, all the links to the stuff in there. I'm even gonna put his YouTube channel in there too. Like, subscribe, my stuff, Mega Late Show, Secret House Against the World, Odd Cipher Divine, all of those things. Check out the temperature checks that Late does off of his phone out there in Atlanta with a lot of really dope people. Peace to Dawn. Farewell, Punk Smokers. No, now I gotta do a different joint. Hold on. Let me see. Here we go.